I'm back with another episode of Desert Island Discs for you, and today we're going to be taking a look at that shelf there. I think they're primarily G's. So shall we get into that? Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Desert Island Discs, where I go through one of my shelves, today being that one, take a look at all the titles that are on that shelf, and then I'm going to whittle it down and pick the one title that over all the others I would take with me if I were stranded on a desert island. Or if the house was burning down, touch wood, that doesn't happen. Wood is a fuel for fire. I don't know whether that works, but anyway, so yes, we're going to take a look at that shelf there. I do this on a bi-weekly basis. Then I'm going to do the Ghostbusters shelf and maybe that shelf, and then jump to a steelbook shelf. I'll throw a steelbook shelf in every now and then, just to like mix things up a bit. But yeah, let's get into it, shall we? Alright, so I've brought my ring light with me, and I'm going to have to do this stood up and show you the films. So this shelf here, so what do we have on this shelf? Okay, first of all we have just have a look, a Playmobil Back to the Future DeLorean. Inside we have Doc and Marty, and it does have wheels that do bend in, so you can sort of, when they clip in, you can put it into a sort of flight mode. And not only that, it has illumination to it as well, so that's quite nice. But I'll put that down there for now, get that out of the way. And also we have kits from Knight Rider with David Hasselhoff inside, Michael Knight, and what's his face, the old geezer, and the woman in the back. So they're in it, but out of sight, out of mind. And also you turn that on. That's pretty cool. Now I'm going to have to get the tortoise out because he's annoying me. Okay, so he's out, and I've got to put him on the ground. Obviously my ring light's gone off. I switched it off. He can go on the ground and do what he does. Just don't get under my feet. So, okay, so let's start on this shelf here, shall we? I'll go through the ones at the top first. Okay, so what do we have? We have the movie starring Steve Carell, Anne Hathaway, Dwayne Johnson, and Alan Arkin. Good cast. Get Smart. Not such a good film, though. Based on the classic TV series of the same name. I cannot remember it too well, this film. And then we have Ghosts of War. Which kind of had a twist ending to it. It is a World War II film, but it turns out not to be a World War II film. Without giving anything away. Have I got this camera too close? Let me put it back a bit. I'm not comfortable being right in my face. There we go. That's a bit better. Okay, so then we have The Girl Next Door. Elisha Cuthbert and Emil Hirsch. But I feel that this film was stolen by Timothy Olyphant. He's fantastic in it. And I like this film. It's good. It's a good laugh. Elisha Cuthbert was obviously Jack Bauer's daughter in 24. Sorry about the reflection. Let's see if I can do something else with that. That might be a bit better. Is that better? I'm sorry, I know I'm playing around here. Look, just bear with me, okay? Bear with me. So that's that. Oh, I'm knocking everything. I've got a Terminator head behind me. Okay, so then we have Val Kilmer and Michael Douglas in Ghost in the Darkness, the story about the lions and the hunters hunting the lions. I believe it was based on kind of a true story, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't seen that for a long time. That was a German import because we didn't get it on Blu-ray. Next up we have Galaxy Quest. Decent film, riffing on Star Trek, a lot of fun. Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver and Alan Rickman. And then we have Get Hard, with obviously Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart. I remember chuckling at it. I can't remember much about it though. It's like one of those sort of forgettable movies, you know. Then we have 3 films I don't know why I've got in the collection. First up, Garbage Pail Kids. I bought this on a nostalgia trip because I used to like it when I was a really young lad and collected the cards. On a rewatch, boy, is it rubbish. I didn't expect it to not be rubbish, but it was rubbish. And then we have Grown Ups 1 and 2. Adam Sandler and his mates having fun, which is exactly what this film seems to be. Adam Sandler and his mates having nothing more but fun. It's like they got paid to go and enjoy themselves. They're not very good. First one marginally better than the second. Guns, Girls and Gambling. Bought this in Poundland because it was like £1 or £2 and watched it and forgot it. Christian Slater and Gary Oldman. I can't remember nothing about it. And then we have Grimsby, or the Brothers Grimsby, I think it might have been called in some areas. I like Mark Strong, he's really good. Sacha Baron Cohen is quite funny. I remember enjoying it and laughing. I don't remember much else though. Then we have up here, let's have a look at what we have. We have Grease 40th Anniversary Yearbook Edition, which is like a media book essentially, and opens up and all that. Grease is a classic. Talking of classics, Will Smith hasn't got one with this film here. Gemini Man. I did wonder if I had this film. I obviously do. The Gentleman. Really enjoyed it. Guy Ritchie. Thought it was fabulous. Who stand out in it? Oh, Matthew McConaughey's great in it. Jeremy Strong's in it. Colin Farrell was excellent as the coach. Hugh Grant was good. Gives a great performance. Yeah. Then what do we have? Let's have a look, see. We have Geostorm. The late to the game, you know, disaster movie. Came out a few years ago. Ghost. Patrick Swayze, Demi Moore. It's a decent film, isn't it? Ghostbusters 1 and 2. Can't go wrong with Ghostbusters. Yeah, well, the first one, classic film. Yeah, can you go wrong with Ghostbusters? I don't know. The makers do, because they did with this pile of turd rubbish that is in the collection. Let's not talk about that one. The less said, the better. For some reason, I have 2 copies of Ghost in the Shell. One I obviously picked up a whole lot cheaper than the others because of the slip on it. Different slip I hadn't seen before. So, yeah, with Scarlett Johansson. Is it any good? I don't remember it being any good. There we go. Then we have G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, the first G.I. Joe movie. G.I. Joe Retaliation, the second G.I. Joe movie that sported Bruce Willis and The Rock in it. Yeah. I think it was marginally better than the first, but not much. Then we have The Girl on the Train. Emily Blunt. And The Girl with All the Gifts. Sci-fi type film, isn't it, I think? Set in a sort of post-apocalyptic future. What else do we have? Glad He Ate Her. Oh, sorry, that's the adult art entertainment version. Gladiator with Russell Crowe. Solid film. Solid performance. Can't go wrong. Now remember, as I'm doing this, think about what you would be picking as your favourite film and let me know in the comments down below. And if you get an inkling that I might be picking that film, again, let me know. See if you're right, see if you're wrong. Then we have Glory. Matthew Broderick, Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, and who else is in it? Music by James Horner, the late James Horner. Glory was good, but still sealed. Why is this here? This shouldn't be here, it should be in the 4K section. It's Godzilla. Yeah, Godzilla. I'm going to have to leave that one out because that should be round the side, but I will include it as a possible choice if I was going to choose it. Then we have a triple feature bootleg of Godzilla, which are the 3 sort of anime cartoon ones that appeared on Netflix. These did get an official release in Germany, however no English language track or English subtitles adorn those releases. I do have the first one. Then we have, Robin Williams and Matt Damon, Good Will Hunting. Good film. Hey, there's some solid films on this shelf, there truly are. Then we have Gravity in 3D with a lenticular. I don't have 3D capability. I would have bought it because it came with a nice lenticular. Next up, Tom Hanks in The Green Mile. I do have this on 4K up the top somewhere as well. You can't see, but all along the top, you see the bottom of some of them there. Then we have Gremlins. Classic, original. Gremlins 2 from the HMV Premium Collection. I think this was the very first HMV Premium Collection film I ever bought, actually. I think it's got art cards in it, maybe. It's got art cards or a book, I don't know. It's got, oh yeah, and they're still sealed as well. Nice, never opened them. So that goes there. And we have Liam Neeson in The Grey. Liam Neeson fighting wolves, but he doesn't fight wolves, but it's still a very good film. Then we have Grudge Match. De Niro versus Stallone. Kevin Hart, Alan Arkin, Kim Basinger, John Bernthal. Good cast. Is it an underrated movie? I remember it being pretty good. You got Rocky versus whatever his name was in Raging Bull. Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. I don't know why this is over here because I have a complete comic book section over there. That tells me I might have this film twice for some reason. Probably because I picked up a later one with a lenticular. Submarine Down. Grey Lady Down. Submarine Down. Grey Lady Down. A Charlton Heston, David Carradine, Stacey Keach movie that I knew nothing about and watched probably in the last year. Picked it up, bought it. Great film about a submarine rescue that has to take place. It's got art card. No, it's got a book in it as well. It's got a book in it and a reversible sleeve. It was a very good film. I really enjoyed it. I like submarine movies. And then for some reason we have another version from Germany of The Girl Next Door. I'm not entirely sure why. And we have Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. Let's have a look at my other Girl Next Door release. So I don't know why I have two. I've got no idea. Was there an issue? Was there a runtime difference? My eyesight is abysmal. Can't even see the running time on this one. There I am. Look, 109 minutes, 110 minutes. It's like 1 minute difference. That's probably just something to do with seconds. There's probably no difference in those whatsoever. So why I've got two, I have no idea. These things happen sometimes when a collection is this sparse. We then have a bootleg of, and I quite enjoyed it, The Grey Man, the Netflix movie. It was fun. I had fun. Gran Torino, very good. Clint Eastwood, that was a very good film. Then we have here Matt Damon in Green Zone. Yeah, that was a cheap pickup for me. Good Luck Chuck, one that I picked up cheap as well. Can't really remember much about it whatsoever. Guns Akimbo with Daniel Radcliffe. This was a really fun film. It's the one where he gets guns. He upsets some onliners, trolling them, and then they come and take him, and he's had guns fit to him, and people watch other people hunt people down and kill each other or something. Future gaming or something. But it was quite good, and a departure for Harry Potter. Then we have Good People, which is still sealed and obviously haven't seen, so That's not going to be the choice. And we have Greyhound with Tom Hanks, the Tom Hanks submarine set Apple movie. That is a bootleg as well. It's the only way to get it. Never got a release. The Apple movies don't. So I'm going to put that next to Grey Lady down because they're both submarine set. Then we have, oh my God, Goodfellas. Fantastic. Good film. Very good film. And I don't know why. It's got to go in my double pile. But I have a second green zone. So that green zone is for the doubles. To give away or something at some point. No point trading it in, I won't get nothing for it, so I'll give it away. Then we have Amanda Seyfried in Gone. The Greatest Showman, again, yet to watch it. Yeah, I've not watched Greatest Showman. I thought it was about time to visit it, so I picked it up cheap, just not got round to it yet. That was that one there, I showed that, didn't I? Yeah, I can go back up. Then we have here the movie Guard. Yeah, it's meant to be very good. Still, not watched it. Cheap pickup. A lot of cheap pickups I won't have watched yet. Then we have the movie Green Room. Okay. Patrick Stewart. I'm so bad at not taking these stickers off, aren't I? I am indeed. And we have here, okay, Gangster Squad. Which, yeah. Also, don't know what went with the other Godzillas, but Godzilla on 3D, I do have a 4K of it up top. Feels like there's a disc in there that's loose. There is indeed. And it is Marvel's Inhumans Season 1. Why that's in there, I don't know. From the days when I would have burnt that myself. But yeah, Godzilla. Not enough Godzilla. So we're coming towards the end. Not many more. So then we have Jason Bateman, Rebecca Hall and Joel Edgerton in The Gift. Yep. I'm sure that black case could be better utilised elsewhere. Then we have, with a knife, dropping it, nice lenticular, but good catch. Gunman with Sean Penn. Again, a cheap one that I've not watched. Had nice lenticular, so I thought I'm going to watch that. And then we have The Guest, Dan Stevens. And I know people rate this film. I didn't. I was quite critical of it. Logically, the story doesn't work for me. It just falls apart. It makes no sense as to why he would go and do what he does and go and visit this family. He didn't have to. There was no need for it. And inevitably, the family would find out who he was. It just ludicrous nonsense storytelling. There we go. But Dan Stevens was pretty good in it. You know, and there were some good scenes with him doing what he does. And then last but not least on this shelf, but it's not least because I haven't seen one of them, although by the time you're watching this, I may well have done. And that is the Godfather trilogy. How much was that? 12 quid. So this was bought by my wife, not by me. I've never seen the Godfather films. And as I stand here recording this, I know that one of them, the first one, has been voted upon as my next unwatched movie. But for when this is for, I'm assuming that my review for that movie has already been done and is online. So at this juncture, as I'm filming this, and you're watching, at this juncture as you're watching it, I may have seen this film and I might think it's the best film I have ever seen and would go above whatever I'm going to pick off of said shelf. But at this juncture as I'm filming, I haven't seen this, so thusly that's not going to be the case. Let's get that back up there. So, there we have it. You have all of those films to choose from. What film would you pick out of all those on that shelf? While I put these other ones back up. Let me know in the comments down below. Me personally, I'm going to have to think about this one because I can't really see anything there or nothing really shouted out to me as I was going through it. Certainly there were some great films on that shelf, some very strong films on that shelf, but actually I think there is one that shouted out to me. Can you guess what that choice would have been. Let me know in the comments. And let me just get sat back down and we'll go through what I picked. Okay, so I've picked 3 films here, a couple of sort of runners-up that, you know, but then one definitive film that I am going to take. So have you picked yourself anything on that shelf scream out to you? Alternatively, did anything on that shelf scream out to you and say, why the hell have you got that film? Garbage Pail Kids. Yes. So let's take a look at what I've picked. So obviously number 1 is going to be Ghostbusters 1. Ghostbusters 1, all-time classic. Great ensemble cast with Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver, Harold Ramis, Rick Moranis, Ernie Hudson, Annie Potts. Era-defining film. You know, I mean, not only did it spawn... Oh, okay, it spawned a sequel a couple of years later, but a mass TV cartoon series of it. Obviously, we got a failed reboot. Then we got a 3rd film in the franchise, which I know some people had issue with, but I actually really enjoyed. And if you wondered where that was, it's in the 4K section. That's why you might see some films up there, and you might say, well, where's thingy? It'd be in the 4K section or in the special editions up the top. So yes, Ghostbusters 1 and 2. Now this is very thick. This case is very thick because I've actually got a couple of DVD in there from the day of DVDs, because that's how I used to decant. I'd decant and put into the Blu-ray box. But so Ghostbusters I've got here on DVD, on Blu-ray. I've got it on 4K as well, so you can't say that I haven't supported the companies with purchasing. I'd have also had Ghostbusters 1 and 2 on VHS. So that's VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K. 4 times I'd have purchased that film or more. There we go. So the next film is Clint Eastwood's Gran Torino. This film obviously starring Clint Eastwood, directed by Clint Eastwood. Yeah, a powerful film. And I was late to watching this film. As in, I didn't watch it when it came out. It was only several years back that I got this and watched it. And I thought, do you know what? I missed out on watching that when it came out. A strong, strong, strong performance. A sort of heart-wrenching film, really, with what happens at the end. But he had a positive effect on the young boy's life and all this sort of a thing. It was a good film. Good film. So, there we go. This was quite hard, but the one film that I did pick over the others was... and this this doesn't make much sense to me. This doesn't make much sense to me. Oh, it does make sense to me. Okay. The one film that I picked over the others was The Green Mile. I mean, do I need to say anything else about this film? It's up there, almost on par with Shawshank Redemption. You know, Tom Hanks, the late Michael Clarke Duncan, James Cromwell stars, Sam Rockwell, Barry Pepper, he ain't on the cover, whose career unfortunately took a dive after Battlefield Earth. He was in Crawl more recently, the alligator film. Green Mile, this is just a magical, strong, emotional ride of a movie. That's the one film that I would take with me. Now what you'll see is that this is actually a 4K box. That's why I looked at it and went, what? Because I have the special edition box out there along the top. And what I'd done was I swapped over the cases. As in I put the Blu-ray cover art into the 4K case and then into that special edition. Because the Blu-ray cover art was the painted cover art. The Drew Struzan style art. I think, was it Drew Struzan who actually drew this one? I don't know, but I thought it was a far better cover than this. So thusly, that went into my super duper special edition version. Even though it just doesn't say 4K there and 4K there, it'll just say Blu-ray on that. But it is the 4K discs up in there. And again, this is another film that... where I have the Blu-ray and I have the 4K, I also have the DVD still as well. So again, it goes to show how many times I buy these films when a new format comes out. That being said, I've never bought a digital release of anything. No, never. And I'm happy to say that. I'm proud to say that. I don't want to buy a digital release of something. Why would I want to part with money for something that I don't own, for something that is not tangible in my hand, that I own? If I just own data, I don't own it. I'm just paying for a key. Essentially, I'm paying for a key to unlock said data. That data can be taken away from me. It can be changed at any time. If they want to make cuts to it, they can make cuts. But that's not what this video is about. This video here, I'm going on a tangent there, is about what film would you take with you. So I picked 3 films there. They were the sort of 3 that I was mulling over. But I would have to take this here. I'm not too upset about leaving Ghostbusters behind, but I am torn. I was very torn between these 2 here. But ultimately it went to The Green Mile. I just think that film has something else to it that I shouldn't say this lacks. It doesn't. It's a fantastic film, but this has something that just grips me more, I suppose. Yeah. Classic of a film. So anyway, so there we go. So again, in the comments, let me know what you picked, etc. Let's talk about film. Hit the subscribe button, because in 2 weeks' time I will be back with that shelf behind me where you can see the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and the Ghostbusters car and that James Bond car there. We'll take a look at that shelf. That shelf there is probably, it looks like a lot of H's. A lot of H's on that shelf. And then what I might do is break away and go ahead and do a steelbook shelf. I don't know how I'll do it, but I'll throw a steelbook shelf in every so often. Because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'd have about 7 steelbook shelves if I included the Marvel and DC stuff that's over there. But as it stands, there's 6 there, and obviously I've done 1. So there we go. Leave it at that. What was your pick? Let me know.